Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of the Untitled Podcast. I'm Alaina.
And I am Abigail. We are the Untitled.
We are Untitled.
We are the Untitled.
What is
you saying? What is you saying?
Like, what is you saying? What is you saying? I'm never saying anything. What is you saying?
I need to get into... We're using my Apple computer.
We are here today to talk about Chris Cornell.
Not just Chris Cornell.
And Eddie Vedder.
Just grunge in general. I had always liked, Nirvana, stuff like that. And then I started getting into Pearl Jam, 2 years ago. But I only really listened to, 10, which was the album, their first album, which was, arguably their best and most popular album. Yeah, and then I never really went through, a heavy grunge phase. I went through the opposite of what was happening at the same time. I went through a Britpop phase, which happened around the same time in the 90s.
Yeah. But
one was in England and then one was in Seattle. It's the Seattle grunge movement because Nirvana is from Seattle, Soundgarden's from Seattle, Alice in Chains is from Seattle, Pearl Jam's from Seattle.
Wow.
And maybe they were all so grungy because it was so dark there and it always rained. Every girl... Okay. Best friend. Okay, I was thinking of this last night before I went to bed because I was thinking of posting on Twitter. And it was every Eddie Vedder girl needs her Chris Cornell best friend. I'm Eddie Vedder girl.
I'm definitely Chris. Nothing against Eddie Vedder. Love Eddie Vedder, but I do love Chris more. Sorry. Oh, I like Eddie Vedder's voice better than Chris is.
And I like the fact that Chris is way taller, but the fact that Eddie is short makes him a little charming.
How tall is Chris Cornell?
Chris Cornell is 6'2".
What?
Eddie Vedder's 5'6", 5'7".
Josh, turn these lights out! The George.
When I was in your bed, when we had a sleepover and I was playing
the video of him
Even Flow, and I started pretending to mosh, and that's why I did it, because the way that he moves, he goes in one of the videos, he goes and I wanted to do that. It felt right. There's also another. I will get on this just to get a little deeper in it. The bassist for Alice in Chains. I don't know if he's a bad guy.
Is
Mike Starr. Oh, he was the last person to see Lane alive, who was the main singer of Alice in Chains. He died from an overdose in 2003. Guys, everyone listening, pull up pictures of Mike Starr.
Go to 90s. Pinterest right now.
Go Pinterest. Look up Mike Starr. Two R's. 90s. Go. 1, 2, 3, go. The same way I say smells like Teenage Spirit on accident, I always say Alice and Chains. I don't know. It's every single time. I accidentally do it all the time. I'll go, smells like Teenage Spirit. I don't know why. I will talk about Nirvana for a second. Just because they are the most notorious of the grunge bands.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's so weird because so many people like them and then so many people don't like them. And I think so many people don't like them is number one because they're so big and because from an outsider's perspective, if you weren't in the fandom is such a weird word to use like that. But if you weren't in the fandom, you would think that Kurt was just some really rude guy.
Yeah.
Who was really disrespectful. But he was a really nice guy. It was just unfortunate what happened. Is he wanted to make music about stuff that he cared about and then boys who hate women and hate black people and hate gay people started listening to his music and that's not what Kurt was all about. We were I don't remember what we were talking about, but I brought up Typo Negative, which is kind of a goth band. I don't really know. They're not really that goth.
Peter Steele is pretty goth.
Main singer, he looks like a vampire. He really does. There's also Jerry Cantrell. He is from Alice in Chains. Okay. After Lane passed away, he took over, got luscious hair. He looks like a mouse a little bit.
Florence and the Machine. Florence, her hair.
Yeah. He was the guitarist for Alice in Chains, and then after Lane passed away, he took over as singer.
Was Lane Man in the Box?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Alice in Chains. All of that stuff on the recordings are sung by, their older stuff are sung by Lane, but now he performs them.
Oh, okay.
So, and Mike Starr is also dead now. He died a little while later. Can't have anything. I can't have anything. So, also, I have become obsessed with, not the music.
I told my dad about this.
I am obsessed with Mayhem, but not music.
Wise. Just like their brains.
But it is one of my favorite little things about everything. This is dead.
I told my dad about the album cover.
Yeah.
And then he tried to search up a picture and he couldn't find it because everything was like blurred.
Go on Reddit.
And
find it on Reddit.
I was telling him the story and I was like, have you heard about Mayhem? And he was like, I don't know who that is. So then I was like, yeah, there's this guy named Dead. He died.
Let me explain it.
Yeah.
So Mayhem, they were from Norway, and they were very black metal band. They were like heavy, like you're not scary, like. And they found a singer from Sweden. His name was Pelle, but they all go by like stupid nicknames. So Euronymous was the guitar guy, and Dead was the singer. But he was like, when he joined the band, I think he was like 19 or 20. Like he was really young. But he had obviously crazy mental issues because when he was younger, something happened in his life, and he had died for like 5 or like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And so throughout his life, he had that like mental thing where you thought you were dead. Like he actually thought that he was not alive.
Yeah, that's why his name
is Dead. And when he joined the band, for some reason, Euronymous liked to egg him on and tell him all these things, like make him feel really bad about himself. And Dead, on stage while he was performing, he like cut himself. Slipknot is not up on stage cutting themselves. This is like not really normal. You know what I mean? Like this is like...
Didn't Ozzy Osbourne like cut his forehead or something on stage?
He ripped a bat's head off.
Well, I know that.
But he didn't mean to.
He thought it was fake.
Okay, he didn't mean to. And they were like, they were in Norway, I think, or like Denmark. And they were all very, Norwegian black metal. They were a pretty like small band. They couldn't get out of Norway, but they had a cult following. They had like a very small but very like determined following. And Euronymous loved to egg Dead on to like kill himself. And so one day he killed himself. And Euronymous went to the house and saw that he was dead. Necro Butcher or someone, he called one of the other members. He called one of the other members and he said, "Hey, Dead did something so cool. He killed himself." And he's like, "That's not cool. Why would you tell me that?" And then Euronymous goes, "Don't worry, it's fine. I've already got pictures." He had taken a Polaroid camera and taken pictures of him. Okay, it wasn't a Polaroid, it was digital. I'm so sorry. They later used that on an album, one of their live albums. It's like an actual picture of Dead. Dead. So Euronymous starts getting a really big head, and he basically creates like a black metal Norwegian monopoly where you can't get into the black metal scene without knowing him or like kissing his feet and like loving him. He owned like a store that you had to like to go through him to be a part of it. He said there was like this one interview that he did where they were selling one of their albums and about 100 people came in to buy one, and he said only like 30 people deserved it. He said that you could not be a part of black metal if you weren't if you weren't a Satanist. He had some issues. But then a very, very talented, like a very well-rounded guy, Varg, comes in and he's like, Hey guys. I don't like the fact that you have a monopoly, Euronymous. He joins the band, and then I think he leaves the band or something happens, and Euronymous is at like a house really far away. He's trying to Varg has to sign some papers for Euronymous, and he has to do it with him.
Yeah.
But there were rumors going around that Euronymous wanted to kill Varg.
Dun dun dun.
And he just, without telling Euronymous that he was going to go, him and another guy from the band drove up I think it was like a 4 or like a really long hour drive to get to Euronymous' house without telling him beforehand, which is pretty weird. So he gets in the house, sees Euronymous, and this is all from Varg's perspective, so it's gonna be a little biased. Euronymous was acting really weird, and there were already like things that said that he was gonna kill him. And he saw Euronymous walking into his bedroom where supposedly he had guns. And so Varg throws something at him. They're like running through the house or something. And Euronymous trips and falls in like glass and gets glass everywhere. And then Varg, out of quote unquote self-defense, kills him. A lot of people later have been like, people lied, because Euronymous did not have guns in his bedroom. There were no guns in the house. He wasn't planning on killing Varg. Varg wanted to kill him because he had a monopoly and he was jealous of the power that he had. And what's even crazier is like Varg would like use a fake account on like sites of like black metal or like, chat sites about like metal and stuff like that, and lie and say that he himself, you know what I mean? He's pretending to be someone else, but lying about himself that he killed someone when he didn't, because they weren't really getting publicity outside of Norway, and they wanted publicity, but like bad publicity. So what was crazy was like a guy, like, that same year he said that, a black metal, like, a member of a black metal band actually did kill someone. And, like, up to, like, 70 or 80 churches in Norway were burned.
Oh my God.
So there was a lot of, like, you could say satanic, anti-religious going on. And they were like, I don't think, and the band is still around today. They've, like, they're new, like, they have a new album out.
Didn't Euronymous sell pieces of Dead's brain?
Of his brain, yeah. He took out, like, clumps of his skull and brain and, like, would put it on a necklace.
If you're a real fan, you'd buy Dead's brain.
New merch.
New merch just dropped.
But they're still around today.
Now, here's the question. Did people from that little following cult start to join the band?
Well, they were just, like, some bands, like, sort of, like, quote-unquote, live on forever. Like, Alice in Chains, after Slane died, they kept going. You know what I mean? And this band wasn't really built on a set, like, lead singer. You know what I mean? Like, Soundgarden was so Chris Cornell heavy that they broke up when he passed away. You know, Pearl Jam, they wouldn't be able to go on without Eddie Vedder.
Yeah.
Nirvana couldn't go on without Kurt.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of like, there are some bands that are so frontman heavy, but this was not. So this has been the Untitled Podcast with
Alaina
and Abigail. Thank you for listening to our
grunge debriefing.
And then black metal.
Bye, guys!